Some actors need a stage to entertain people. Chris Hemsworth doesn't. Give him a hallway, a camera, and a few unsuspecting co-workers, and suddenly everyone becomes part of the show. Whether he's handing out random high fives or stopping people in the middle of their day, Chris seems to find comedy everywhere. And the best part? Nobody is ever fully prepared for what's coming next. As Chris walks through the building, he greets everyone like they've been friends forever. One moment, he's complimenting someone's hair. The next moment, he's joking about their plans for the night. His confidence makes even the most awkward interactions hilarious. Some people laugh, some try to escape, but Chris keeps going, collecting reactions like trophies. Things get even stranger when Chris is left alone with the camera. Instead of acting like a serious movie star, he creates his own survival documentary. He pretends he's been stranded for months. Everyday objects become dramatic challenges. Even a patch of grass turns into a life or death situation. The longer he's alone, the more ridiculous the story becomes. And somehow, that's exactly what makes it funny. At one point, Chris wanders into an area where people are getting ready. Most people would immediately turn around. Chris does the opposite. He casually starts a conversation as if nothing unusual is happening. The reactions are priceless. Everyone knows he's joking, but nobody knows what he'll say next. That unpredictability is what keeps people laughing. Put Chris together with the Marvel cast, and every interview becomes a challenge. Reporters ask serious questions. Chris and his co-stars turn them into comedy routines. Questions about filming quickly become jokes about directors, cast members, and each other. Sometimes the interviewer tries to stay focused. Sometimes they completely lose control of the conversation. Either way, everyone ends up laughing. One interviewer asked a simple question: who could drink more, Thor or Hulk? Instead of giving a straightforward answer, the cast turned it into a full discussion. They debated strength, they debated history, they debated logic. By the end, nobody had an answer, but everyone had a good laugh. When a picture of the cast trailers appeared on screen, the conversation took another funny turn. People talked about how hard it would be to find the right trailer every morning. Then attention shifted to Chris, not because of his acting, not because of the movie, because everyone was talking about his physique. The cast couldn't resist teasing him, and Chris played along perfectly. Filming action scenes in the desert sounds exciting, until reality shows up. While discussing the challenges of shooting outdoors, Chris focused on a surprisingly small problem: sand in his shoes. Not giant action sequences, not dangerous stunts, just sand. It was such a simple complaint that it became hilarious, especially when compared to the larger-than-life image people have of superheroes. Near the end, a trivia game introduced one of the funniest moments. A question appeared asking what career someone wanted before entering motorsport. The choices were unusual. The reactions were immediate. Everyone struggled to keep a straight face. Even before the answer was revealed, the room was already falling apart with laughter. Chris Hemsworth has starred in some of the biggest movies in the world, but sometimes his funniest moments happen when he's not acting at all. Whether he's joking with co-workers, interrupting interviews, or creating chaos on set, he always finds a way to make people laugh. So, which Chris Hemsworth moment made you laugh the most? Leave your answer in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe for more celebrity moments and behind-the-scenes fun. Most celebrities save their energy for the cameras. Chris Hemsworth seems to do the opposite. The moment he spots a camera nearby, even if it's just behind the scenes, he immediately starts looking for ways to entertain himself. It doesn't matter if he's walking through a hallway, waiting between scenes, or heading to an interview. Somehow, every situation becomes an opportunity for comedy. Crew members know exactly what that means. If Chris is coming their way, there's a good chance they're about to become part of a joke they never signed up for. One minute he's casually greeting someone, the next minute he's pointing out something completely random, making everyone around him laugh. The funniest part is how confident he is while doing it. He'll walk up to someone in the middle of their workday and start a conversation as if they've known each other for years. Some people laugh immediately, others look completely confused. But before long, they're laughing too. That's one of Chris's biggest strengths. He doesn't need a script, he doesn't need special effects, he just needs people around him. And somehow, that's enough to create memorable moments. Over the years, fans have seen him battle villains, save worlds, and wield powerful weapons on screen. But behind the scenes, his greatest weapon might actually be his sense of humor. And that's exactly why so many people love watching these unscripted moments. Because nobody, including Chris himself, knows what's about to happen next. For most people, a hallway is just a place to walk from one room to another. For Chris Hemsworth, it's a stage. As he moves through the building, he greets nearly everyone he sees. But these aren't normal greetings. A simple hello somehow turns into a comedy sketch. He notices tiny details about people and immediately turns them into jokes. Maybe it's their hairstyle, maybe it's something they're carrying, maybe it's just the expression on their face. Nothing escapes his attention. And once he notices something, there's a good chance he's going to say something about it. The reactions are what make these moments so entertaining. Some people try to answer seriously. Some instantly realize they're being set up for a joke. Others simply burst out laughing before Chris can even finish speaking. What's impressive is how quickly he can think. Every interaction feels spontaneous. Nothing sounds rehearsed. He's simply reacting to whatever is happening around him in real time. That natural humor creates moments that feel genuine. Viewers aren't watching a celebrity perform, they're watching someone genuinely having fun, and that fun becomes contagious. Within minutes, everyone nearby is smiling. Even people trying to stay serious eventually give up and start laughing. By the time Chris leaves the hallway, he's usually left behind a trail of confused but amused co-workers, and for him, that's probably a successful day. Leaving Chris Hemsworth alone with a camera is usually a mistake, at least if your goal is to get serious footage. The longer he's left on his own, the stranger things become. Instead of waiting quietly for filming to begin, he starts creating his own entertainment. Suddenly, he's pretending to narrate narrate a survival documentary. Ordinary surroundings become a dangerous wilderness. Simple objects become major obstacles, and completely normal situations become dramatic adventures. He commits to the joke with full confidence. That's what makes it work. Most people would laugh halfway through and stop. Chris keeps going. The story gets more ridiculous with every second. Soon he's talking about imaginary struggles, impossible challenges, and dramatic situations that clearly don't exist. Yet somehow, the serious way he presents everything makes it even funnier. The contrast is perfect. You have one of Hollywood's biggest action stars pretending he's fighting for survival while standing in a perfectly safe studio environment. Everyone watching knows how ridiculous it is. Chris knows it too, but that's exactly why it works. His willingness to fully embrace the joke makes every moment funnier than the last. And by the time someone finally interrupts him, he's usually created an entire comedy sketch from absolutely nothing. If there's one thing Chris Hemsworth has never seemed afraid of, it's walking into awkward situations. Most people notice when they're interrupting someone. Chris notices too. He just finds it funny. During breaks on set, cast and crew members often try to relax, prepare for scenes, or focus on their work. Chris sees those moments a little differently. To him, they're opportunities. He'll casually walk into a conversation that has nothing to do with him and immediately start adding jokes. Sometimes people try to ignore him. Sometimes they try to continue what they were doing. It never works. Within seconds, the entire room is focused on whatever ridiculous thing Chris is talking about. The funniest part is that he rarely looks like he's joking. His delivery stays completely serious. He says absurd things with the confidence of someone delivering important news. That combination catches people off guard every time. Even when everyone knows a joke is coming, they still end up laughing. It's almost impossible not to. And because no one can predict what he'll say next, every interaction feels fresh. That's why cast members often find themselves laughing before Chris even reaches the punchline. Experience has taught them that something ridiculous is probably on the way. Interviewers usually arrive with a plan. They prepare questions. They research the movie. They think about what information fans want to hear. Then they sit down with Chris Hemsworth and the Marvel cast, and suddenly that plan disappears. Questions that are supposed to take 30 seconds somehow turn into 5-minute comedy routines. An interviewer might ask about a challenging scene. Chris responds with a joke. Another cast member adds to it. Then someone else jumps in. Before long, the entire group is laughing. The original question has been completely forgotten. Trying to control a Marvel interview featuring Chris is almost impossible. The cast members know each other too well. They know exactly which buttons to push. They know which jokes will get reactions. And they know Chris is almost always willing to participate. Instead of promoting a movie, interviews often become friendly competitions to see who can make the others laugh first. Fans love it because it feels real. These aren't carefully planned moments. They're genuine interactions between people who enjoy working together. And that's often more entertaining than the movie promotion itself. One simple question created one of the funniest discussions. Who could drink more, Thor or Hulk? At first, the answer seemed obvious. Then everyone started overthinking it. Someone brought up size. Someone mentioned strength. Another person started talking about history and Viking culture. What should have been a quick answer turned into a surprisingly detailed debate. The cast began analyzing the question as if they were solving a major scientific mystery. Every answer created more questions. Every argument created another argument. Nobody could agree. Yet everyone seemed completely invested in finding the answer. That's what made the moment so funny. The seriousness of the discussion didn't match the topic at all. Watching a group of actors debate superhero drinking abilities with complete sincerity was comedy gold. Eventually, the conversation reached the point where nobody even remembered how it started. But by then, it didn't matter. Everyone was having too much fun. And sometimes that's exactly what makes these moments memorable. Not the answer, the journey. For years, Chris has been the one teasing everyone else. But eventually, his co-stars learned how to fight back. And when they do, the results are hilarious. One moment, Chris is making jokes. The next moment, the attention shifts toward him. Suddenly, he's the target. His friends begin pointing out things about him. His appearance, his habits, his reputation. Nothing is off limits. And because everyone knows Chris can take a joke, they don't hold back. The teasing becomes relentless. Every comment gets a bigger laugh than the last. Chris usually tries to defend himself. That rarely helps. In fact, it often makes things worse. The more he responds, the more material everyone else gets. Soon, the entire conversation becomes a playful roast, and the audience loves every second of it. Watching one of Hollywood's biggest stars struggle to win an argument against his own friends is surprisingly entertaining, especially when everyone involved is having fun.